Good. How you doing? You alright?
Yeah.
Good. Am I being ignored? I don't know.
The brothers have spoken to you, haven't they?
In what way? When?
What, they have had a word with you, haven't they, I think?
The last I heard, I spoke to Gareth out the front and he said he was going to ask you to see me. Speak to me, your contact book.
Right.
So I don't know really. That was the last I heard from Gareth.
Yeah, I think the brothers, you know what to do to combat, don't you, Steve? So,
well, as I've tried to explain to everybody, I haven't had a chance to speak to you, so I'll explain it to you as well.
And this is probably not the best time to do it, is it? So, but the brothers are dealing with it. The brothers are aware of it, and you just need to make your way back if you know the steps to combat.
Well, I do, but as I've said to Chris and I explained to John, I'm expected to come to the meetings and sit here and be reinstated first, and then have questions that I've got answered after. And I don't really understand that, because if it's, I'm a worldly person, that's what everybody tells me, I'm a worldly person. If it's worldly people in the ministry, you don't say, come, commit, get baptised, and then we'll answer your questions. And I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand why I need to.
But you're bright enough, Steve, to get it.
I know the procedure.
You know it all. You know it better than I do.
No, not on some of the stuff I don't. Some of the things have changed since I've been away. And
so the brothers, as far as I'm aware, have done all they're going to do, and it's up to you to go through those steps to
get reinstated, then have my questions answered.
All the steps that are needed to come back.
But is that the process? That's what nobody will give me a straight answer on it. Am I expected to get reinstated and then have my questions answered after that process?
What these questions? Which ones are these?
Well,
we don't get involved in any apostate views, do we? We don't get delved into those sorts of things, and those are the sorts of questions you're coming out with, Steve. Well, so we're not going to go there.
Well, any question that's asking a question about witnesses will be viewed as apostate, though. I mean, look, if you'd ask the people outside in the world, if you knock somebody's door and they asked you the same questions I asked, what would you say to them?
You need to do your research.
That's what you'd say to them. You'd say, go away and do your research.
Steve, we know your history. You need to do your research on it.
I've tried, Gert, to do my research, and then it throws up more questions. I've tried to do the research, mate. I have. I've pored over Watchtowers. You know me. Everybody in here knows me. Everybody knew what I was like. So I don't understand why, when you've got somebody that's asking for help, why you won't help.
So are you going to a church at this moment in time? Have you gone to a church and got your marriage blessed or something?
Yeah.
So where are you, Steve?
I'm lost, Gert. That's where I am. I'm lost, and so I'm asking you guys for help.
We are not going to get involved in any discussions which, the questions you're asking, Steve, are apostate, and we're not going to get involved in that.
So is that how I'm viewed then?
I'm not saying that. The questions you're asking are that sort of place. So we hope you can, we want you to come back. Of course we do. But you've got to...
But do you understand at least the quandary that I've got is that I've got to get reinstated, then I can ask my questions.
Yeah.
That doesn't work like that with a ministry.
Yeah. I think you know where we're at. That's the line where we're at the moment.
So that's it then. Lines of communication are cut off until I get reinstated.
You need to make steps to come back. Simple. Those steps. And I think our brothers have answered these.
No, he got up and walked out. If you're pointing at Pete, the last time I spoke to him,
where you're at.
He didn't even let me start.
No. And now it's not appropriate for us to be having this discussion in the Kingdom Hall.
Well, there's no better place to have it. I've rung you. I haven't rung you. I have emailed you.
Yeah.
I have spoke to people. Every elder that I can speak to, I ask, will you please come and see me? And so where is the most appropriate place? I ask you outside the Kingdom Hall. I ask you inside the Kingdom Hall. Where is the appropriate place?
We're not going to be drawn on discussing any sort of apostate type discussions. Period. Are we?
So, you're leaving me in a quandary then. I don't know how I'm viewed. Am I viewed as an apostate?
At our organisation, you need to look at the organisation. You need to match that up with what's written in the Bible. You need to make a decision. Is this the truth? Is it not the truth? Based on all the information you've got, and go with it. Simple.
So
you can do that.
So
just like a person on the street would, you've got to do the same.
But the person on the street you're willing to spend time with, one of your own you're not. I don't get it.
You know us. You know the organisation. You know it all.
Okay, so how about...
So match it up with what's in the Bible. If you think this is the truth, great. If not...
So how about the lost sheep then? The lost sheep goes out, gets lost, breaks his leg, whatever, and the shepherd goes to the lost sheep and says, everything you need is in that bag. Sort it out yourself and then come back to the fold.
Yeah, but when you're coming out with stuff like, what was it? Russell is a Masonic whatever. Whether he was or not makes no difference. It's like whether we think this is the truth or not, you make a decision.
Well, virtually everything that Russell wrote we don't believe now anyway.
You make a decision and go with it. Based on what you see with the organisation, the brotherhood, the truth. Like we all would, And if you think this is all a bit weird, there you go. But we're not going to get into any debates about anything that's like that.
It's not a war of words I'm after.
No.
My relationship with him is up there. I may never be able to speak to my kids 10 years from now. You imagine having that possibility set before you, you would do anything, I'm assuming, to make sure that you could speak to Maya for her future, wouldn't you?
You're the father, so you'll be able to speak to the kids, won't you?
I had to cut my own mum off for nearly 20 years, so no is the answer to that. They won't. If Ewan commits and gets baptised...
So that's where we're at, I think.
Well, if Ewan commits and gets baptised, Girk, that's it, isn't it? Is that not severance?
Maybe it is. So you just need to decide.
So I'm asking for you guys, as I asked Gareth, I'm asking for guidance. Yeah? I'm asking for your help. I just said, I'm a lost sheep. You said, where are you at? And I said, I'm lost. And everybody I speak to, if they talk to me about my religion, they say, where are you religiously? I said, I'm lost. I go back to the people that I've always known, and then they want to speak to me. The prodigal son, he went, he blew...
Are you praying?
Sorry?
Are you praying?
You know what, I did say...
Are you reading the Bible?
Yeah.
Are you studying?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's the good stuff.
So the one thing I'm not doing is I'm not coming into this building to sit at the back for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, not being able to have any questions answered on things that are important. And yet
your questions I don't think are important.
They're important to me. It's not your opinion whether they're important or not.
Yeah.
The question
you need to think, is this the truth? Is this the right organisation? Is Jehovah's people? Based on everything that you can see and everything you've read on the internet, you make a decision. Go with it. But you've got all the information, Steve, to make that decision.
But the prodigal son, when he went away, he blew his money, he did what he had to do, and when he came back, what did the guy say? Stand outside for 6 months.
Yes, but have you made all the changes before you come back?
Well, what was I disfellowship for? I was disfellowship for adultery. I'm no longer committing adultery because I've remarried. So from what I understand, the policy of the elders says, if you've got a disfellowship person in your territory...
The person who's coming back doesn't go to a church to get blessed.
No, but the direction that the elders have got, to the best of my knowledge, is if you've got a disfellowship person who is no longer practicing what they were disfellowship for, you go and visit them once a year. Is that still the direction?
Well, you seem to know. You know it, Steve. You know.
Well, why is nobody coming to see
Go on the
me?
internet, you'll find it all there, all the direction.
So why is nobody coming to see me, Girk? You've got a policy that says that you should be coming to see me. Why is nobody seeing me?
Questioning this moment until it changes. Your questions might need to change. The moment it's rearing down apostate lines, we're not going to get involved in it. So unless you change your questions and there is a sincerity to it all,
So are you saying I'm insincere?
maybe. It looks it.
Why?
Eh?
Why does it
You
look
don't
it?
look like a Jehovah's Witness when it come back, do you?
Girk, I'm not one currently. I'm a worldly person, as everybody tells me I am. But you would not judge an individual based on their looks if they're in the ministry.
You know.
Why?
You know how we are, Steve.
I know how you
I think-
operate, and
But it's not.
Sorry, I'm just listening to both sides. I think what he's getting at, you know, the illustration you're talking about, the prodigal son, imitating him, he went back to his father with the humblest of hearts,
Yeah.
and his actions reflected that humble heart. So
Yeah.
I think what Girk is saying is that the actions, which include the questions you're raising, don't show that humble heart.
so
that-
do you think
that
it's not?
request
Do
for
you
the
think it's
forgiveness.
not humble to come even into this building knowing full well nobody's going to speak to me?
All we're saying
Is that not
we're
humble
saying,
on its own?
we're saying as a
Here in
whole,
months, though, isn't
the
it?
prodigal
I came and saw Gareth. How long ago? A couple of months ago. And your last words to me were.
I'll ask them.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I got a wall of silence. I didn't hear from you. I didn't hear from you, Girk. I've emailed you
Well,
personally.
there are brothers who are dealing with it. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not on the committee who dealt with it.
Neither
So
am I.
So am I able to go to those three then?
They're your point of contact, aren't they?
Yeah.
So the last time I came to those three, Pete Evans left the room. I told you this.
those three
He didn't let me
brothers
start.
signed to do this, not me and
Yeah.
thee.
But if I went and spoke to Pete, he'd walk off, or he'd say, "I don't want to talk to you," because that's what he proved it to me. He went, "You're saying there's three that I can approach. If there's three I can approach and one doesn't want to talk to me, and then Chris says, well, I'm not really supposed to talk to you while I'm on my own," that puts me in a very difficult position. Who is willing to speak to me?
Those three brothers are your way back. So if you go to
Why
them,
don't we get Pete here now then and ask him why he won't speak to me?
so just go to them with the prodigal son attitude and heart, and that's your first step.
Gaz, I did. How many times have I been in here asking for help? This is now, what, 3, 4?
But your email with those questions, Steve,
Hello, Maddie.
wasn't
All right.
particularly a prodigal son, humble heart sort of type questions, was it really?
Well, are they not?
It's not-
Even if you don't think
it's-
they're valid questions, Gert, they're things that I don't understand. They're things that I don't understand. And any worldly person who you're trying to bring in, if there's something that they don't understand, you try your best to help them. If at the end of that they say, I don't believe any of that, it's rubbish, and that's fine, but at least you give them the opportunity to have their questions discussed. I'm not even allowed that opportunity, and I served here in this hall for 20 years. I sat up there next to you blokes.
And there might be some stuff that we don't understand, Steve. But you've got to just take this as a whole. Do you think this is the truth or not? You know, based on what we're doing. And there may be stuff
Well,
in the
one of the
historical stuff that, you know, hey, yeah, stuff might have gone on in the organisation. But does that mean it's not the truth? Well, you've got to make the decision.
But an identifying marker of truth is love for people. And I don't understand at the moment how I'm being shown any love in here.
Well, we'll speak to our three brothers and see if there's anything else. Is it still the same?
It's not a wine. I'm not here for a war of attrition and a war of words. I ain't here for that. Mate, I've got work to do. I could be working tonight now, and I've sat here for 2 hours. I wanted to come and see my boy. You know, he had a bit. He did really well with it. It's important I'm here to support him. But I could have just come in for that 3 minutes he was there and snuck off. I've got stuff to do, yeah? But I'm here because this is important to me. I've been in multiple occasions because it's important to me. I appreciate your spending time with me, probably against the walls or whatever, I don't know, but I could be at home now and have my tea. having a tea, I could be sat at home with a beer, watching the telly, but I'm here trying to get some help, you know, and you say, we're not sure if you're genuine or we're not sure if you're humble enough. It's, you know, where's the love in that, Gert? Where is it?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm out, and because I have some questions, well, we're not going there. That's basically what you're saying, isn't it? Because you've got questions, we're not going to talk to you.
Steve, you're... yeah, what can we say? Is it still the same questions you've got?
Some of them, yeah. Because I can't get answers to them.
And what happens if there aren't any answers to them, Steve?
Then I'll accept that as well.
Okay.
But at least give somebody the opportunity to get an answer. I said, because Ewan asked me, he says, what, you know, why aren't the elders talking to you? Why is nobody talking to you? And I said, Ewan, I want people to talk to me. I do want people to talk to me. I said, if you're at school, because he said about me coming back to meetings, and I said, if you're at school and your teacher is teaching a subject that you don't understand, and you were sat there in your seat and you were confused, what would you do? What would be the wise thing to do? And he said, I'd go and say to the teacher, can you explain it to me? I said, that's right. I said, and in the congregation, who are the teachers? And he said, the elders are teachers. I said, so I'm going to the elders, I'm going to the teachers because I don't understand some of the things that are being taught. And he understood that. So I said to him, the elders, though, the teachers, don't want to speak to me. And it's confusing for him as much as it's confusing for me. And he said, I thought the elders wanted to help everybody. That's what I always thought that too, Ewan, but it appears that's not the case.
The problem is, it just looked like your questions were a copy and paste from an apostate website, Steve. So
I can assure you that it won't.
that is the problem. And so it's how do we get past that? Because you know how we deal with apostates.
Yeah, absolutely
and
right.
your questions are copy and paste. That's how it looks.
The last thing
so
that I want
to get over that,
yeah,
we might be all right.
but the last thing I want to be is knocked over
So
the head
you
with the
need
apostate
to
stick.
you need to persuade us that your questions are not anything to do with apostate views or anything. You can persuade us that we might be able to talk to you.
That's fine. So how do I do that is my next question. I have to ask that before I go home tonight. How can I persuade you?
Can I just ask, ultimately, is your goal to return to Jehovah, or is it just to get answers to your questions? You know what I mean? Is it a heart-based question?
It's not an academic exercise.
That's what I mean.
No.
Is it just questions? And if I get the answer, then I'll serve Jehovah.
If it was a case of
Jehovah, I want to serve you. Help me.
I did this for 30 years, not on a level 2 Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
I did this on a level 8, 9 and 10 Jehovah's Witness. So if you're asking me if it's a purely academic exercise, you probably know the answer because you know my history.
Absolutely.
I'm not here for academy.
Neither are we.
So how do I persuade you
Email
that
me.
my questions are not...
Put it in a letter.
Yeah.
There you go. Persuade us, write a letter to us.
Well, I'll do that then. I will.
And you need to persuade us. You need to persuade us that your views are not apostate. And it's not coming from that slant. That's why we're not going there, Steve. And hope you can appreciate that from our perspective. That you know how we deal. We don't go there.
No, we're not.
So you in a letter, write, and that might be a step.
Well, I'll try sort of rewording then what I'm trying to get to, but you know,
And really think, you know, do I really need these answers to these questions? Really?
and that's the process I'm in. Is I'm
Because
trying to eliminate
me,
some of them.
I looked at those, makes no difference. Because you know what? I think this is the truth because we go on the ministry, we love Jehovah, we use his name, all those things, the brotherhood, yes, there's faults, of course, but actually I don't care about whether this state's right or that state right. That's not why I'm in the truth, you know? It's because I love Jehovah and I think this is the
Yeah,
so
that's
you-
what we're getting at.
So you've got to think about, do I really need to know the answers to these? Because I don't. I ain't in the truth because of 1914 or 607. I'm in the truth because I look at the Bible and think these guys are doing this. Okay? We're not perfect. I think it must be the truth. I don't care about half of that stuff. You know, so we want you back, man. You know.
Yeah, we're not trying to stop you.
Well, yeah,
we do want you back.
don't question my motives, please,
No.
because it's not.
But when you come with that straight away, this is dodgy.
Just appears, doesn't it?
Comes out,
Looks that
and
way.
we're not going to go there. So you need to persuade us that this isn't something apostate, dodgy.
Prodigal son, return to Jehovah. That's what we're looking for. You know, we're only taught by Jesus, by Jehovah. So it's not our decision. You know everything we know.
Interesting. You see, this boy was good last time I came here. I'll say this while he's here. I don't mind. He was great. But he's not the one of the three that's dealing with me.
No.
All three that are dealing with me, they've seen me, they've made eye contact with me, they've seen me and you talking. They haven't come over.
No.
He has.
Well,
But they haven't.
Absolutely.
But they're
Well,
the
we're
three, so
not-
why are they not here? You know, it's,
Because we've got the view, Steve, from what you've said in your email, that this is verging on all weird apostate stuff. You can persuade us it's not. It might be the first step. Okay.
yeah. Thank you very much. All right, cheers, guys. Thank you very much for your time, both of you. All right, thank you. You